This one that is always breaking things, new words, new sound waves, always there. Um, its capacity to bring new things, to explain itself through this person that was someone so old but still expressing it. And expression doesn't need to convince anyone that this is true because it knows itself as a truth. In secret, it knows itself as the truth without convincing anybody, without convincing any brain, any heart that I am the truth, because it is. So anyone who really just wants to be convinced of something, then it's a science. It's some sort of equation, some sort of persistent situation that I'm trying to find evidence of. I'm trying to prove. But this isn't perceivable. This is not a condition that's uh, open to investigation and finding proof of, because it's not uh, local somewhere. It's not a process. It's not a certain set of conditions and equations and pattern. It's just what it is. It itself is the proof of itself. As a proof of itself is there. So obviously there. Yet to um, to a perception, to a person, to a character, it seems to be secret. It seems to be not obvious because a character can only see what it sees. A character that's interested in science can only see science. A character that's interested in math can only see how things are mathematically aligned. They may see the same thing, the same view, but just different, picking up different things about it. The view is there, not less. Free from the separate superimpositions from separate characters. The fact of the view itself is untouched. What you can pick out from it is different, depending on a character. And what a character cares about, but just to be itself. Character only wants to be itself, to be the character. To keep its set of rules and to impose it on others, to impose it. Suffering is simply the incapability of the character to impose itself with you, to continue existing. That is what seems to be the suffering. Yeah, the character suffers. The character goes to hell for eternity. The character goes to heaven it goes and comes back, but um, that's just part of the locality of how because it's always local, so it comes and goes. But what you are, what this is, doesn't appear to in order to come and go anywhere. Um, it's the fact of all of this together, the fact of all these characters together. So when God says this person is going to hell for eternity, yes, it's true. If you remain being this character, you'll be in hell for eternity. If you want to remain in being a rapist, a murderer, and you want to remain in this character, you want to impose the view of the murderer, rapist, then you'll probably be in hell for eternity. Yeah, it's quite hard to impose your perception. There's so many characters against you. It's like, why you want to do that? It's just so messed up. Um, so there are characters that will suffer. That if you just beat them, they will suffer because they're just so far away from the emptiness, from heaven, from disidentification. They're so far away from. They're so filled with so much potential energy that it's not used, and they just have to explode it somewhere. It's not. Um, that is not useful to the other characters, generally speaking, in their character. Because it's only useful if it's empty. When it gets empty, then it becomes useful to other forms. What does your contraction want? To be um, released. That's all. You just want to release your contraction. Um, if what's happening is releasing it, then it's good and goes to heaven, it's closer to God, where the contractions are getting released. And people feel blessed. You feel blessing because they are not there anymore. They are less. They are less in existing as a contraction. The contraction is constantly in flow. It's constantly transmuting alchemically, constantly being transmuted into emptiness. But when it stays in a contraction, then it just stays in hell. So that what God means by eternity in hell is eternity in contraction. You have to always transmute. You have to always move from contraction to emptiness and back to contraction, back to emptiness. It's in between heaven and hell that there's um, life, and that is actually have that is the um, transition, the alchemy, the point where the alchemy is happening, where the transmutation is happening. But that's happening all the time. There is no always empty. You cannot find always emptiness. You cannot find complete emptiness. You cannot find complete form. There's always more hellish places than another place. There's always a more heavenly place than another. But that's why there's always a transmutation happening. There's always life. Life is always there. And that is the start and the end. Moving between places, creating places is part of the fun that you get to create a certain pattern of form and emptiness, certain live in a certain level of the game, but that's just a possibility. It's not static. It's just all types of possibilities there. Um, and it's just itself. You can feel it's so beautiful. You can feel it's so horrible, but it is what it is. And you're a fish in the water. Um, the fish and water, the whole view, the whole thing is just amazing. Um, I attended one of these Zoom meetings where they were speaking about, they were sharing like certain script about, what Jesus saying. And I think I pretty much believe he was like a non-dual speaker. When you look at his script, the way he spoke is almost like a non-duality speaker. Um, and he was saying something like, "You get all these things. You get all the blessings if you just come closer to God. So don't worry about it." And included in the blessings was the body. The body was also part of it. He's telling you that you will get all this. Your body, you see, not you. Your body will be healthy. Don't worry about it. Just come closer. Um, this encapsulates a lot of things. It just identifies you from the body. It tells you the body's blessing, something that can be blessed. Um, and but at the same time, it tells you that you should come closer. You can come closer. If you come closer, then you'll see more and more beauty and bliss. So there's also duality. God here establishes the ultimate paradox that you, unseen, and he's the unseen also, are complete lovers and completely intertwined. But at the same time, you can come closer together and you can go far away from each other also, infinitely. This is the ultimate paradox that the lovers are so far yet so close, can be so far, but can also be so close. And both are not both. They're also the same. This paradox of love is the whole thing. This paradox of love is why there is anything. Um, it is because of it that anything moves towards anything. Anything goes away from anything. Uh, because this is completely um, pure in being itself. The whole scene, part of the scene, maybe not, maybe something, but the whole scene, including all those characters, is just the way the relationship is happening and the expression of the relationship. That this relationship is eternal, is always bringing new things. There's no way to be bored of it. There's no way to say, well, um, this is what defines a relationship. You know, you never know. It's always mysterious, always non-mysterious also, and moving between mystery and non-mystery, and all possibilities that can happen in between. This sacrosanct relationship is established because if you're totally united with what you want, then there's nothing further to want. If you're far away, then it's their purpose. But it is both. Nice. What can be more fulfilling? by by being fulfilling and non-fulfilling, yet always new, completely fulfilling, yet always fresh, always unique. That's true love. It's final, but it's not final. You forget about all these words, all what you've learned as a child, and as an old man, you come back to just forgetting about all this, like just falling off a stage, and you forget all about. You just fall on your head, and you forget about all the what happened on the stage, all the drama that happened. You forget all about it, and the potential for doing something else or starting from scratch and having a different love story, another way of loving each other. That is always here, infinite potential. It just doesn't stay statically in the memory. It's just temporary resistance in the relationship. A flower, and another day there is something else. Another way of expressing how you love each other, how they are completely untied. Another way, another life, another fish, swimming differently in a different way. You feel something is fresh about it. That's another way I love you by presenting you this fish, by presenting you that life. This is my gift to you. Um, and not by making it final only, but by making it also a drama, that there is also tragedy and, you know, the complexity of it, of the relationship is there, but also its finality. So many finalities and so many restarts. How can this ever die? This love. And there's so many possibilities. How can this ever be uh, a memory? Is there anything else? Uh, I just can't see anything else. And the more I look at anything else, the more I see it. The more I speak about something else, the more it comes. Um, the more I try to clarify what it is, the more it becomes mysterious. Because it's just saying that the other side is here, that this love is whole. You cannot play with part of the ball. You have to play with the ball, all of the ball, all of it from all sides. You say, well, this part of the ball is interesting. I like to play with this part of the ball. The other part I don't want. How you gonna have a game? Your only life. You want to keep these memories, but they're just part of the ball. Yeah, losing the memories and losing life is how the ball rolls around, and you can continue playing and enjoying what this is. The game has ups and downs. How can you choose one side? uh, of this love and say, this is only love. I will only love through this way, through this flower. I will not use any other expression. Um, yeah, that's all. That's all I have to say.